Screaming. Oh god, it's so vile. All right, we're starting the intro right now. Intro. Fucking stupid. All right, the Mutant Epoch, welcome back. It's been a week since we were off. Dental appointments galore for a couple of us, and one of us is currently down for the count because of continuing ones, just like myself. I had another one today too. And we have Ara back. Welcome back, Ara.
Hey.
All right, so I'm hoping my microphone is actually on right now, and I'm seeing it in OBS. Yeah. The what? It says, okay, it says Mike Ox is actually getting a negative 20 dB right now, so it's saying I'm live, so we should be good. And
I heard you earlier when I poked into it, so
okay, that's good at least. Yeah, session 25, the High Desert. Welcome. Today we're going to be jumping into another combat. We just did Black Spire 2 weeks ago, where the players were deciding to go up against some Foglings for a weird edifice that was spotted out in the northeast around the fortress. Now, that one turned out to be something that had killed a bunch of people. One of the squads that was sent out there to kind of like just patrol the zone was found dead. They were arrayed in a circle, like they'd been laid there around this edifice. They were also with some other people that were dressed in a garb that was unrecognizable, though they could see that it was definitely something of like primitive make. It was like plate mail and armor, chain, gambeson, and they were wielding archaic weapons. There was a person that was inside the edifice, which turned out to be an illusion, and it was a sphere. And when they got the person out, it also was an individual who was that was dressed in this archaic armor and arms. They brought him back to the fortress, and he's going to live out his life in the media. But that is kind of an example of the transdimensional themes that the game can have inside of it, and that you can bring into the game. So Mutant Epoch doesn't just have to be on the Crossroads region or the High Desert or whatever world you kind of create. It doesn't have to be on Earth. You can place it wherever you want. The system can be transmuted so many different ways, and mutations can be seen as different things. They can be magic. They can be well, you just keep them as mutations like they do in the Witcher series. You could just have fun with it. Don't limit yourself in scope. And today I am bringing in a OSMIAC that I wrote using the Marine Corps Infantry Handbook that I still have to do a mission. And this is going to be kind of an example of a one-day dig, something that we want to get back into making again from Mutant Epoch. And we want to make them 1 page, 1 to 2 pages, short, that you can kind of absorb the information you need, get an adventure running, and get the players engaged really quick. So they're currently still as a bunch of characters at Bittertoe, and we're going to resolve some of the things. Got some EFs the previous week, and they've been spending some time, downtime for the most part, building, repairing, training, annoying each other, annoying the guards, being annoyed by the guards, and just kind of living in this area while they, just get their vehicle fixed up and get trained, spend some skills. So I'm going to start with, do you want to think on it, Ara, what you want to had Argo and Whiskey Tango, what they were doing during this time? Or do you want to jump right in?
I'll think about it real quick.
Okay. Let's start with Cinder then. What was Cinder kind of getting up to? Because we have Red Rum is down in Greywater, and she's been working with the police department with their ghost mutant.
Right. I'm sure Cinder would be poking around and trying to connect with any Whitehole operatives that are anywhere around. He'll use his communication implant to try to tune into coded messages. And as I've explained before, while he's against the current leadership of Whitehole and thinks they're going in the wrong direction multiple ways, he is still strongly wanting Whitehole to succeed. He believes in the concept of it, and therefore is like almost like a double agent. He's trying to support Whitehole and potentially watch for ways to undermine it at the exact same time.
Yeah. And he wants to see Whitehall succeed, just like you said, not the people in charge.
Yeah.
And
he's
that means not
probably gonna
undermining
eventually.
it. Yeah,
He's eventually going to probably want to go back to Whitehall just to kill the leadership and then
yeah.
get somebody else put into power that's going to help the people, not oppress the people, which is what is currently happening.
Yeah. And a lot of the people in the outside networks, they're just observing and just getting information so that Whitehall has options to defend itself. It knows what's out
Right.
there. Because one of the problems with a lot of these settlements is power projection. The moment you try to project power into any of these areas, you're exhausting a resource you can't easily replenish. Whitehall has the advantage that it's a fucking mystery to everybody. They don't know what it can project. And so Whitehall's been using that, collecting data. And all that data is so important to them. Who's doing what, where they're going, how they're operating. So staying loosely connected in their web of information is interestingly pretty easy for an operative of Whitehall to tap into, because it's there to be tapped into so that it can continue gathering information. Even bad information is good information because they're collecting all of it.
Right.
And so you are able to get into touch with a few other people. Mostly, these are people who are traveling back and forth from Colossus to the ruins of Bittertoe. Well, the reborn Bittertoe, and using the caravan road as their route. Now, you did have someone come down from Hayaki Yagyo from the demons down the Demons Parade. It's a plantoid,
Right.
literally a covered up turnip who came down to Bittertoe with his spear. He had a communique with him, and it was just a parcel that he was supposed to give to an agent that had the right communication code, which you had access to. The parcel that you received is a hermetically sealed box that has a ident code on it, probably some kind of DNA sequencer, in order to unlock it. Now, that can be fooled, and it also be forced open. And then somebody, whatever's in the inside, it might have some kind of device that is triggered to destroy it. Like, you have no way of peering into it just yet. It's made of a smooth kind of plastic, so you don't think it's indestructible. It definitely can be opened. And it's about 3 kilometers in weight. It's got some good density to it. But there is definitely something moving in there when you move it about. Maybe fluid.
You know, you said
Kilometers versus.
I said kilometers, kilograms. It's 3 kilograms. Jeez,
Huge.
3 kilometers, blonde.
The thing is enormous. Hey, I measure things in
Xbox. Deal with it.
yeah, I measure things in refrigerators. So, you know,
All right.
like a true American.
I measure
There you
things
go.
in burger.
How
Yeah.
many burgers this way? Tell me right now.
Okay.
All right. And so, was anything besides being handed this parcel and imparted to Cinder?
No information. It literally just came like, oh, here it is. This turnip's line gives you a jaunty little salute and goes to go help out somewhere else at Bittertoe because he has some other kind of job. You just had the communique when you got a blank signal came through and nobody answered it. Like, yours was the only one, and like, here's your parcel.
Okay. And you said it's got some kind of ID lock on it?
Yeah, it has some kind of ID log. You recognize a gene sequencer when you see it. It's an area you put your finger, it would take a DNA sample, and then you would basically unlock to an authorized person. And those can be fooled.
Okay. I bring it to Argo. Whenever I figure out where Argo is. So, once I know that, I'll bring it to Argo.
Argo, you want to do that now?
Yeah, I can figure where the fuck I am. I have no idea what's happened the past many game sessions. Argo's been doing something.
He's been doing Argo things.
Yes. Probably murdering things with the railgun, as usual.
You could be at Bittertoe with us.
Sure.
Do you know what Bittertoe is? Bittertoe is the former headquarters of the Hydraulic Knights that, got destroyed, we thought. But there is as Tim was saying, reborn order that's kind of taken over Bittertoe, that's remnants of like the support staff of the old order and so forth.
The non-combatants.
Yeah, and so they've created kind of a different militant order, and mostly it's kids that are the soldiers. And we've been kind of hanging out there. We've met a couple new individuals there. We've met Doc. You want to describe Doc, Pat?
Ah, yes. Greetings. I am Doc, as they call me. A small four-legged, spider-like droid with a clearly only definitive brain in a jar. Offers its hand.
Mechanical hand.
Doc is a brain in a jar filled with a blue bubbling liquid, and occasionally wears a pumpkin mask when dealing with people who are either afraid of the spider legs or afraid of, brains or dealing with children. Otherwise, he is the base's medic officer.
Yep. And Faulty can't really talk right now, but we also had what was the name of our new character?
Crazen.
No, Faulty.
No,
Faulty is
Crazy.
having-
Is Faulty's
that's
character.
Ruin's character is crazy.
Yeah, I was gonna say Crazen. Oh, you're talking about for Faulty's character.
yes.
Yes,
The Twix.
the mouse.
But yeah, but I was also
Twix.
saying that Ara wasn't here for Crazen appearing.
Oh, yeah.
No.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
Rune, you could describe Crazen to Ara.
Yeah. So Crazen is a towering 2'8" rat man. Um, he's easy to pluck out in the crowd because he said Ratman, but also I like that Faulty did a great job in the art. If people who join want to look at the art channel, his tabard is a very harsh clash of purple and yellow, just kind of all checkered together, and his loud attitude and whirring power claw just snapping away. You could easily find him jealously guarding and fixing up his car he just found with no defenders. Nothing bad happened.
Everyone survived.
Everyone survived who needed to survive.
And no one does.
Yeah, so he's also the newest guy. Crazy rat man.
Always laughing at the
Alright.
crazy.
And Faulty's character is a Mouseketeer, and we'll kind of leave it at that. And when she's able to describe it herself, you can hear from her.
Yeah, she'll come back. Yeah,
No one will describe it as well as her. So
exactly.
yep. So yeah, that's kind of who we've met at Big Toe, and as Tim was saying, the whole group stayed there for a month, kind of just on individual projects. My character Red Rum went back to or stayed at Greywater to learn from their Ghost Mutant Brigade or whatever they're called. I can't remember, Tim, what you called them, but learning some new tricks. But she's gonna have rejoined the group after a month of training, and we'll accompany the group on the big adventure into the feeding grounds. So what do you think, Ara? What would Argo and WTF have been up to?
I mean, probably the same as always. I was probably trying to get himself into probably a little trouble trying to overthrow something to get his mobile lab eventually.
Yep.
That is his ultimate goal, is to get a lab that can, well, come with him.
Right.
Or maybe just drive.
Let's hear some commentary on that, Tim. What does Argo find out as far as what his options are for said goal?
Let's see. So, as far as Argo, I want actually to ask about the first goal there, about getting that bigger gun.
Mhm.
And also, Argo, like what skills did you necessarily always wanted to advance? What was the first ones you wanted to?
Probably either most of my tech skills
Okay.
or weapon expert.
So you could definitely get some time with the firing range here and getting proficiency in weapon systems, zap guns, rifles, knife, especially the knife in this area, Bittertoe. They have students who are going through active classes. So during this month, you can gain a rank as if you were trained in any one of these places. So weapons, knife fighting, just choose your flavor, what you wanted to specialize and spend your afternoons doing. There's plenty of time to with Doc working on biochemistry, medical, and chemical tech. Bittertoe has since Argo's here, this is something that was picked up by one of the other characters, that there was a leaking energy signature. Argo's technical savvy and equipment would have noticed this pretty quickly. There was some kind of frequency was off with the way that energy was being recaptured inside the fortification. Now, Argo, you could address this, or you could leave it alone. It's really up to you. Now, it's a pretty large base, and the energy signature leakage isn't lethal to anybody here. It's leaking some mild radiation, but it's not going to, like, kill them. It might give them cancer in their later years, but, you know, what doesn't?
I mean, Argo will say something about it.
Okay. So, at this point, you'd be talking with... you'd be talking with the headmaster who's in charge of the entire establishment, and so you'd bring you over to like their energy reclamation systems and their. What you go there to find is that the capacitor units they use are no longer viable. They've corroded past the point. Their containment units are no longer actually keeping a hold of the large nickel batteries that they have inside of there that are bleeding out a mild radiation. These are radioactive nickel-based, not meant to have lasted as long as they have. These are old world technologies. It's going to require quite a bit of like shielded robotic scrap in order to get these things working. So
Lovely.
it's you can get it to a point of like suboptimal operation, but if they were to like attach, like Bittertoe was famous of having like some pretty significant cannons on its battlements. Like they'll never be able to get those to operate off the system. It would fry it. So the weapons that they're using right now, like mobile fixed gun positions, stuff like that, it's about as advanced as they'll ever. Some spotlights running basic heat, lighting, stuff like that. Never going to get it. But as the fortification grows in size, the population is going to have more energy demands. And then this entire apparatus is going to have to be addressed. And if they don't have the expertise here, I mean, you have it, but they don't have the resources to rebuild this. They're going to need to go into probably the city. You're going to have to go into Lost Soul, find a replacement power source, or at least a chassis of one, to rebuild this damn thing. And that means an expedition into Lost Soul to find this.
Well, that sounds fun.
Yeah, it's going to be deadly. So you can either you can try to patch this up to the best of your ability if you'd like, or do you want to communicate like your expectations, suspicions, and like what you know?
I'd like to do a mix of both, actually.
All right.
Give it a quick patch job so it doesn't kill anyone quicker, and try to tell them, oh, hey, you need this. You desperately need this. I do have the skills to do it, but you don't have the materials.
All right. So give me intelligence-based type C check, just to do a patchwork of what you have on hand. Yep, he got it.
Still a
That's
successful.
yeah. Meet it or beat it is usually fine for type C. Pretty good. It was 68 on a 68 though. So yeah, success. Yeah, it's like that's a crit, baby. So with that, you're able to patch it up, no problems. This thing's going to run for another 20, 30 years as long as they don't tax it too much without like critically falling apart. It's not going to kill anybody. So that's like a couple days of you just kind of slaving some wires together, getting some systems working, taking some things down that they don't need or unnecessary, and just getting greasy and dirty. So when you communicate what they need, they want to put together this expedition into Lost Soul to figure out, like, all right, how do we do this? Like, what do we need to pull out? Honestly, you have to be there. Like, it's going to be one of these things, like, they need the expert there to see it. Like, you could describe it to them all you want, and they might botch the actual removal of the power supply if it's tied into a system.
Oh boy.
Yeah. So this might actually require you. The other opportunity might be there's one in 86. That one's, gonna be for sale rather than for the taking.
Well, for me, both sound pretty reasonable. But I would have to ask my party about that one.
All right.
All right. Let's move over to Doc. What's he got going on?
As far as what he's been doing this time?
Yeah.
For the most part, Doc has continued to his daily routines. Has been spending all of his non-working hours reading, studying, and perfecting his biotech computer technicals with any time that he can squeeze Aura for information along with electrical, and performing autopsies and things of that nature to increase his understanding of medical. When also available, he would join the others down in the mess halls and play his guitar as a performer to help the junior troops' morale.
We have actually one of the guys who actually wrote one of the One Day Digs is actually in the chat right now. I'm trying to figure out who it is because it's just aardvark. I'm like, I want to know who you are.
Baby Boo Boo. Apparently.
Oh, baby, that's one of the originals. One of the firsts.
Nice. Got us a celebrity over here.
That's a good one. I like Baby Boo Boo. Boo Boo.
Yeah, that has been Doc's more or less time. Rendering aid to anybody who needs it. Teaching if need be. His usual go-to day-to-day operations, holding classes, helping the children to like read, write, do math, things of that nature, whenever they're not being assigned a frontline.
Okay, outstanding. And I forgot, you didn't make Pollo Loco. Somebody else. Nope. We thought about making Pollo Loco.
No, that was Huevos Ranchero.
Huevos Ranchero.
Son of Sancho.
Son of Sancho. What's your other character getting up to?
Duke's been spending most of his time practicing with Serialiad, going through necessary aiding with the command center for any kind of necessary logistical supports, keeping tabs of going out on missions, things of that nature.
Okay. And let's move over to Beans. What are the rabbits getting up to?
Well, I'll start with Mira. I imagine she's probably been helping out repairing the man eater. Apart from that, I think she's finally kind of cleared out that AI core, and now could she reprogram it to basically have some hacking capability of its own?
Yeah.
So it's kind of like a blank core. So maybe she might start working it to be able to start working on the that Athena file that we got all the way back then.
Yeah, so you basically want to create some ice?
Yeah, I guess.
Use the Shadowrun parlance?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
And the other thing she probably would wanted to try and is take the firewall from the man-eater and apply it to the satellite and give her, well, allowing her access in and out of it.
Okay.
So again, like ice.
Yeah. So these reprogramming it. There is a chart that for computer tech for reprogramming anything. And so that's just a random chance, per day that you get the chance. So since we have kind of like we're not in a rush right now, we're just gonna say you did do it. Like the chance of failure here is you're gonna see it failed. Like there's like it's not gonna scrap it each time if you fail it or not. It's like I run the program, I do a compiler, it didn't work. Do it again.
Right, just a long nights of crunching away trying to get it to work. Compile, damn it.
That actually does remind me. Doc would like to take some time with the brain tissue from the tank as well.
Sure.
Oh, Aardvark wants to know, which is Tim Schuster. Are we using any house rules, ladies and gentlemen? Are we? I would say many.
Yes.
Yep.
No, this is all raw.
Many.
Just look close though.
The house is made out of house rules.
we have
The
a
house always
I
rules.
mean,
yeah.
it's not a super large amount of house rules, but there's definite house rules.
I mean, like over here we have house rules general. We actually have a list of them. Like heavy armor and light armor, and heavy arms is one of the ones that we use a lot. That vehicles basically ignore light. Any armor that's on a person is considered light armor, and a vehicle, specific vehicle combat weapons and 50 caliber weapons and high yield explosives ignore player armor. They just slice through it. It's just not there. And light arms do not do any damage to vehicle armor, specifically vehicle armor for like tanks. If it's just like a lightly armored troop carrier, yeah, it's gonna do damage to it. But you do have hard points on vehicles you can shoot off, the weak areas. Oh, and I have the notes for the gladiators too in here. Favor heals and heroes, so that's something for a different event that we're gonna go back to at some point.
Yes.
But that is the general house rule we use pretty frequently. The scaling of damage types, and we're actually going to be getting into a little bit more of those because we're going to have in this next mission coming up damage types that erode defense values, and they're going to have 2 attack values, and we're going to get into that when we actually fight those creatures, assuming you guys don't scythe them down before they have an opportunity to attack. So you've got your kind of hacking bot that can do a lot of the work for you to get through things. And was there anything that your your hippity hop rabbits get into? Crabmere sounds like they're pretty good to go. What about Rhea?
I think she's probably kind of spending her time going back between Bittertoe and Greywater, just kind of killing time. That probably gave up on trying to catch Clark in the area for now. He probably slipped out during the last battle.
Okay.
Apart from that, maybe looking to upgrade her armor into some scrap relic, get out of the bookshelf. And as for training a skill, I mean, if Duke had spare time, Ray was interested in learning how to lockpick.
Duke is always ready to aid those in need. Speak thy request, Dame Rhea.
I mean, for purely innocent reasons, of course.
What thou dost with the knowledge is not mine business.
And I think that's pretty much it for her. Nothing too exciting, really.
So with those 2, we're going to move over to Iliad.
All right. So yes, Iliad. Haha.
Yes, Iliad.
No, for real. So most of his time is like kind of hinted with Duke there. He spends a lot of it training up with Duke, giving lessons when inquired to the wider youth. But also kind of keeping a very distance, like not really getting bonding too much with them as like he would with like, the previous fraternity that was at this place.
Don't name them Iliad.
Exactly.
You can't keep them.
Yeah.
Oh God.
Really at this place, you think he'd be happier to be here, but like this whole time he's just kind of been feeling, as much as a robot can feel, just kind of like distant and put off in general. He just kind of just a plot line I eventually want to wrap up, but we'll get to that later. But yeah, just something about this place still rubs him the wrong way. Like like you feel, even though it's his home, he feels like not welcome.
Like
And it's not
going
even
to
the
your old house, like 10 years later and seeing what the other people have done to it.
exactly, like it's not even the people that make him feel unwelcome. It's just like this weird thing that seems to be locked away in his brain that he can't really just put a finger on.
I mean, I get that too. It's that he's almost having his own version of an uncanny valley. It's this thing he's come back to, and it's not quite what it was. Everything's different. But
Yeah, actually,
yeah.
I did want to ask about that. Is the full Bittertoe like accessible, revamped, or is there like areas that just haven't been touched because of
There's areas that
fall?
haven't been touched. They just have not
Okay.
been rebuilt. So you have large areas
yeah.
of the substructure that haven't been excavated.
And I'm assuming like one area would be that the larger room where Athena used to be.
That is okay, so interestingly enough, that has been cleared and deserted. There is no guard, there is no bar to entry. It is simply left alone like a crypt.
Yeah, and even Iliad doesn't like go in there. He doesn't get near that. Like that like starts like really up into static in his brain whenever he so happens to face the direction of that. So yeah, he just like he helps where he can, but it's like he in his brain is like definitely like you said, it's uncanny valley. It's not, this is where I started, but it's not my home anymore.
So Domina interestingly keeps her distance from you. Now, Domina is the leader of the knights as they stand in the present day. She is some kind of amalgamation of part prophet, part machine, part human. She is one of Domino's first creations. His literal daughter. Domino's betrayal of the knights, his sack and siege of Bittertoe, his creation of Unity, all the things that he did to basically were just in defiance to his mother Athena. And now you have his daughter Domina, who has kind of rebuilt this. And she does seem to have some kind of reticence around Iliad. He represents an older order. He, stands above her. He's a living legend. And you might even see how your presence is creating a small rift in the continuity of command within the Citadel itself.
Yeah, and I believe like Iliad will pick up on that, but like doesn't make an effort to like remedy this. He's just like, if they prefer my method of knighthood, I will teach them the best I can, but like but he's not going out of his way to purposely step on her toes, while at the same time not going out of his way to even really interact with her much. Like he gave that one warning already. Like that relation, I feel like that established a relationship pretty well.
No, definitely. Yeah, you're not Athena. Don't pretend to be a. This is the land of the knights. They're not knights.
And the second you show that you're even slightly out of line towards Domino, it's game over.
So with that, we're gonna end with Krazen.
So Krazen, despite his unique person offering certain to back up, like that's his form of payment because he doesn't have the money to do it, but he can, oh yeah,
I'll take on 6 of you at once. Let's do this.
Oh yeah, any opportunity to also get into a fight, like any sparring with brawling practice or anything with the trainees, he offers his services to act as the aggressor.
Like you and you take me all at once. And they're like going to get their training 6. No, with the live weapons.
Live rounds.
And you have like the trainee master there, like perfect practice is perfect. Like giving him sharp weapons, like go in there, kill that rat.
He won't kill any of them.
No. But the idea is that
they will remember.
Yeah, they're gonna remember, because wounds give a scar is a memory that will save you in the future. And you probably give them a fair share of scars. Now, I want to drag a separate attention. Now, remember a couple weeks ago, we did a contest between Beans, character for Rhea, and our newest mouse character, that faulty Miss Squirrel Cheeks right now, Chipmunk Cheeks had. Yeah, and we had, what we did is something that, and it was kind of like off the cuff. I had a thought of doing this. Was a escalating contest where the two opponents describe what they're doing, and then we start with A as the test, and we move our way up the hazard scale to a certain score, or like a point location, or where one dominates the other one completely. And I kind of really liked that dynamic test system. It allowed for the players, like, it gave them a cue to how to role play into it and to take in like, oh, I want to do this, then that, and kind of evolve the scene. And it also changed which stats they were pulling from, depending on how they were interacting with their environment. And I really enjoyed that. And hopefully we can kind of utilize it a bit more. So if you guys see a situation where that kind of growing test can be used at a contest between two things, bring it up. Because I want to evolve that a bit more and see how we can make that like a hard piece of the High Desert's way of doing contests. Or a contested check. All right. So we're going to open it up with this Osmiak. So a communication comes in from a fortification further out in the High Desert called the Blind Gate. A distress signal has come of a settlement bordering the feeding grounds. Colossus is related to Bittertoe. The feed is covered in static, snow, and has only a pleading sound and broken images. The only distinct sound is the screaming. Horrible screaming. Orientation. Blind Gates is built into the ruins of a megastructure foundation in the desert. It's bounded by clear lines of sight in all directions. The substructure is sealed with a magnetic bulkhead that is vulnerable to electronic intrusion. The lower floors are partially explored with several dead ends and corridors that double back on previous past rooms. On the second floor is a functional well and power supply unit to operate the well winch and the communications array. Higher adjacent support is from either 86 or Colossus with an ETA of 2 days from order reception, with the possibility of long delay due to high winds and static storms. The situation. Company-sized element has attacked and secured Blind Gate. It is probable it consists of light infantry with an organized command structure that can perform coordinated strikes with heavy weapon support. The enemy has access to the fortification's armory and will have energy weapons and the ability to bypass security locks by an unknown means. Initial communications with the defenders described active camouflage and short-range teleportation. The enemy commands the fortress's defenses and can withdraw into narrow corridors with gun loops and interlocking fields of fire. Expect ambush and explosive devices at intersections and doorways into larger chambers. 86 has provided limited satellite surveillance of the territory, which can only be scanned every 10 hours. A transport barge from Colossus with a fixed Bright Lance battery has been loaned to provide gun support to push the enemy off the exterior defenses. Your mission. Secure Blind Gate's outer defenses. Infiltrate and neutralize the enemy presence. Secure the communications array, power supply, and water source. The fortress's water, power, and communications array are mission-critical infrastructure. To provide life-sustaining sustenance to the occupiers of the fort, a secure line of communication to 86 while supporting Colossus's southern border security with an early warning system in the event of an attack from the south. Execution. Gain the outer defenses and secure the perimeter and ensure the communication tower's viability. Breach the magnetic bulkhead to the sublevels by electronic means while keeping its structure intact. These structures cannot be replaced and must be preserved. Push into the enemy's lines and secure the water supply. It is the most critical resource for the enemy's defense and will disrupt the center of gravity for communication. The power supply is a delicate piece of machinery and vulnerable to explosives and sudden shocks. The enemy will try to use it as a screen to prevent the use of energy and ballistic weapons. Cover and speed will be critical at this juncture to getting close and dispatch the enemy with melee weapons. Admin and logistics. Wounded in action and killed in action are to be pulled back to the upper floors when secured. A complement of Colossus infantry will pull back the wounded to the transport barge for evacuation. Enemy officers, if capable of speech, are to be secured, disarmed, and disabled by appropriate means. Robotic adversaries are to be terminated immediately to prevent the spread of the Lissa virus. All other combatants are to be eliminated. Warfighters should be kitted for 4 days of assault, with resupply and relief arriving on the 5th day's dawn via foot as a company-size element of mixed infantry and logistics support. Command and signal. Overall command is given to the highest-ranking knight in the assault, with succession descending down to their selected second, then descended by rank. Standard sign and signals are to be used with mission updates passed to Colossus. The warfighters are to signal with red smoke if their positions are at risk of being overrun and the mission is a failure. They are to signal with green smoke if the outer defenses have been cleared and are pushing into the lower floors. This is a general warning order that is given over to the occupants of Bittertoe, coming down from the highest command. They're from Domina herself. She's asking for volunteers.
I wonder if this is only me. On my end, Tim's cutting out every now and then. Is anyone else?
No, he's cutting out for me too.
I am?
Okay.
Damn. Did you
A
not get all
small
of it?
amount, but we got
Oh,
a
Wednesday
I got a
was-
good decent amount of it.
Yeah. And also, Iliad, being professionally as will totally remember all that stuff. But do you have a handout or something so the idiot
I
crazy
do.
doesn't? Okay, perfect. So crazy can read the notes again. The rat who can't read.
Oh yeah, do you have a copy of the document?
I do.
I just want to read it in general because I remember like who to not kill.
I can't remember where you posted it in the Discord, Tim.
Here's the text message. Is inside the bubble chat. I had put the original one inside the Underwarns.
Oh, okay,
All of
gotcha.
that.
It is actually not there anymore. Yeah, don't worry about it. For those of you using Obsidian, I'll pull the actual. It's just you and I. I have converted a couple people that worked at this system though, and they are loving it.
You know, I hope it doesn't get too popular. They switch over to like a paid model and start taking features away.
That would suck. But I don't see that happening. I don't see that many people.
I've spoken. It's gonna happen now.
They're gonna look to Beans and say, "Oh, that's a good idea. We'll be sure to thank you." Lol.
Thank
I'll
you.
be sure to take none of the money.
Well, yeah, we'll give you they'll offer you none of the money, but be sure to post your full name and address for the person to thank for when that happens.
Yeah. I'm also going to send this copy of the StarCraft source code over back to Blizzard. So
They misspell your name repeatedly. For some reason, they
Oh
refer
my
to you as
God.
Arnold.
Where's the my content folder? Because I am so ready. The blind gate. I put that inside the Obsidian tablets channel for Underworlds. Yeah, I'll post that also in the Epoch bubble chat.
Yeah.
Again, it's the MD file, so it's gonna look like a text file to anybody else if you try to open it up. But if you're using Obsidian, you'll be able to open it up. It'll be out easier.
Wow, Raisin's just looking at a lot of this stuff, and it looks like don't use your missile launcher against this to enter the building, please.
Yeah, it's
He's just-
underlined right there for him.
And he'd be offended if he could read.
No, how dare you? It figures I'm reading off a warning order, and I start cutting out. I did lose connection to OBS for a couple seconds.
It's just like real life.
Yeah, no, the comms is just cutting out. Like, say again your last.
Perfect, yeah.
What are we doing again? Take no prisoners. Understood.
I was listening. Totally got that.
Yep.
Who's the highest ranking knight?
Seriously?
It gestures broadly to
Yeah.
Iliad.
Hey, Tim,
Cray.
Yeah.
did you see my query in the chat?
Uh,
20 chat.
No, I've
It's
been
all in capitals.
oh, there we are. Okay, yes. All right, so that, whoever does that, takes that implant out, is going to know
Mm-hmm.
like what he is. So who do you want to do that?
Yeah.
Do you want to go back to Greywater to have it done?
Oh God, no. No, it would either be Argo or he'd reluctantly, ask Doc.
Okay, because
Not knowing that Doc already knows that he's an android. But
yeah, because Argo could do, because does Argo knows, right?
yeah, Argo knows.
Yeah, so
We
Argo.
have a deal that Cinder will support Argo in all his goals as long as he keeps his secret and helps fix him if he gets messed up bad.
What is Argo's intelligence score again?
Oh, let's see. I got his character pulled up.
Oh, did we lose Ara for a minute?
68. I don't know.
I was
you
May
there?
have muted and forgot.
Yeah.
I was muted because I went to go grab my drinks, and I realized I hadn't unmuted myself the entire time.
I'm
It's all
sorry.
good. It's deja vu, baby.
Argo, could
Definitely
you
didn't.
for Argo, could you give me a
I'll be
type
right
D
back.
intelligence check? I want to see if Argo's figured out that, like, yeah, we're not hiding this from Doc.
Okay.
Just because you're looking at a brain in the jar and the sensors he has on his person to see if you figured out, like, yeah, okay, yeah,
Oh,
so you got it.
totally.
Yeah, you got it. So
Yeah.
you've already
Totally.
identified that Doc's, like, just his onboard systems alone after just being around him for a little while, he's already figured out what Cinder is. Like, he would have known, and he kept it quiet. So you could bring him in to help you with this transplant into his armor, so to make it a little bit, better. So he's not doing naked concealment.
Maybe.
Or you could try to go it yourself.
I mean, I might take the assistance. I'll just bring them over with a rather large gun behind them.
Whiskey Tango overseeing the operation. he keeps looking at Doc for some reason.
His head turned is centered.
Yeah. I'm observing. While flexing his RGB arms.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Oh, I need to make those more buff. That's for sure.
Yeah, no, we've talked about it a couple times. I'm like, have a Whiskey Tango is basically out there like, can I add this to my body? Like looking at the tank going like, I'm going to become that.
Download more gains.
Okay, I went to this website. I got more RAM. I downloaded it. I'm like, oh no, no,
It
poor
actually
dumb
wasn't a
child.
virus.
Poor dumb child. Downloaded all this RAM.
Yeah. And Ara, did you see that Beans had posted that there's a spare robot arm with a grenade launcher in it?
Ayo.
Yeah. So you might want to consider
I'm back.
adding that to WTF.
That is definitely something I could do.
Yes, it is.
That
Especially
sounds
with a month
devastating.
to work with.
Yeah. Yeah, he's got time. All right. So with that time, so we're gonna bring him. So what they're asking, Pat, is they're gonna bring Doc in on this surgery,
Mhm.
and that's gonna give a better chance of this actually like succeeding.
Understood.
We don't need to make a check at it though. With again, with the amount of time that you have, there's nothing here that's preventing you from getting the task done. It's not done under duress. So you're able to succeed. Get this installed on the exterior of into the armor itself with a supported battery supply, and so you're not doing naked concealment. Just your booty chat, because the problem is that every single time Cinder went flying through the desert, you could hear his cheeks clapping in the wind.
Makes sense.
It's just like, it's not very stealthy.
I'll make sure to take the utmost care for suturing on new skin or resuturing the skin.
I don't know about you guys, but I think naked stealth is one of the better forms of stealth.
Whatever.
You just
Because you had a fetish for it doesn't mean the rest of us do.
running through the field, clap, 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 clap.
Do any of you got a condom for my magnum dong?
Oh, God, you're gonna have an active cloak magnum dong.
Oh God, can you imagine having to do that cloaking through like any of the water in the freaking or in the crossroad region? Like you better, boy, you better double bag it.
Things are getting
before you get into that water.
the things are crawling up your butt.
The
It's
dreaded
happening.
Candy-roo.
Okay. So with the team, we're gonna pull the characters who are gonna go on this op, and I'm gonna bring us over to the new page 1 because I never named it because I'm so great at this.
Oh, I would have also been spending that month making sure
You
that
mean
Nurse
Blind
Delilah
Gate?
has been trained.
New page 1 is the
Oh,
pit.
I am not great.
Blind Gate Underground. Weep.
No, not that one.
underground.
No,
Not
no.
underground. We're not underground yet.
That's
We're
Blind
above
Gate.
ground.
Blind Gate.
Ah, there it is.
Yep. Okay.
But yeah, I will make sure that Nurse Delilah has been trained properly for medical procedures so that Doc can go out on missions as needed.
That's good. So I decided to be not as tongue-in-cheek about this, and I just straight up used some of like, you're gonna recognize some of these as like Warhammer monsters that I have like restatted for Mutant Epoch.
Mhm.
Yes. So go ahead, have fun, kill some pointy-eared Eldar.
Yay!
Bloomin' knife ears.
Oh boy, James, don't look at the screen. The workshop does not need to know.
Oh god, what is happening to the screen right now? It's going. Maybe I gotta reload.
How many days would this been between last mission and this one? By the way, I just need to know how fixed the car is.
Did you say 30 days?
I would say a
Has it
week.
been a week? Okay, perfect.
Let's do that again. What's going on with these tokens? Token layer. There we are. Man, why is everything grayed out on me? You know, I'm reloading. OBS might break.
Good times all around.
Oh yeah, no, it's working as intended. What freaking layer is this on?
Yes.
On the token layer. Can you guys see these things as tokens?
I see their HP bar and stuff. That's about the
Yeah,
extent.
I don't see them though. Yeah, I saw them for a second.
Yep, there it is.
Oh, maybe I need to refresh. Hold on.
Whatever layer you've done, like it's kind of a white haze now, but like I can still see the overall outline of everything, and I can see the actual tokens.
Yeah, right.
I take it this was meant to be a form of transparency layer to show like the interior of a building.
I don't see that. I still just see the health bars. I saw that for a second, but it's just back to health bars.
Yeah, I was the first.
Yeah, I see the health bars.
Yeah, right. There's okay.
And only
Good.
I can see it right.
Then only you can fight. Good luck, Doc.
Good job,
go get
freaking roll 20. You're doing it again.
So it shall be. Ah!
Let me go to the token
Jelly
layer. Let me look
double!
at where are these on the token layer? All right, so I got these guys right here, right? I'm gonna bring
The
it.
die has been cast.
Let's just grab these 3. I'm not grabbing anything weird. I'm just doing them. Maybe I should have had this set up before now. Maybe that would have made more sense, but you know, I'm not here to make sense.
Unhand me, you spoony bard.
All right, so we're on the token layer. If that's what it says. Going to paste. And now we have a giant white screen.
Black for me.
Oh, but nothing's
Yeah.
still nothing's changed.
Oh, you know what? You know
Mine
what? I think I know what happened. Hold on. I think I know what happened.
Out of curiosity, which side of the map are we quote unquote coming in from?
Any side. Dynamic lighting on off. All right. Dynamic lighting off. Save settings. Close. No! It's still being dumb. And why is this area over here? I'm having that moment from the Cell games of like, why are you still green?
It doesn't bother me. It doesn't bother me.
It bothers me.
It bothers the hell out of me.
Wait a second. I know what happened.
Hooray. That makes one of us.
Hold on. Where is the background map? What layer is it on? It's on the foreground layer. Why? You go to map layer. God, bad. That's what was happening.
He's done it.
I figured it out!
Crack the code, people.
Yes.
We got its leap.
Taking Fort Ticonderoga.
All right, no, okay, you're not going to be out there. So you're going to go within three meters of a border edge, and we're going to do some things that we do for the beginning of a fight to allow some players to be able to get in closer.
Sorry, want to repeat that?
So go ahead and grab the characters who are going to be participating in this ground war. You and I don't need you to be a part of this.
So I guess the crazy train. Well, it really depends actually. How? Because it's given in hours, like how much repair is done.
Yeah, so it's probably going to be there.
Okay.
On the board.
Also, Rune,
Yes.
if Red is back, she now has molecular manipulation and can aid in repairs that way because it can do repairs to objects.
Oh, perfect.
Same with Duke, if you need it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That all sounds
So,
great.
All
Look,
together, and if Argo helps and shit like that.
looks like it's a split advance we're doing here. Looks like
Yeah. 3
rabbits
meters.
are going one end.
Yeah, so 3 meters of a border edge. Not on the structure, so you're not going to come in here like on the lip. Because then we're going to do some stealth rolls in order to get you further in.
What is this?
Okay, you know what? Never mind.
Exploding game
Car
over
is
here.
not coming up that close because car's not coming in.
What's the what? That is
What is this?
that's the antenna.
That's the antenna? All right.
Yeah. That is my attempt. That is basically some texture surfaces I use to make a really shitty antenna quickly. Because there's not a lot of sci-fi fantasy assets that I have inside Dungeon Draft. Because when I eventually make these maps for like publication, I'm gonna have to hand draw all.
Oh, okay, I see now.
It's just this is done for expedience sake.
That site doesn't exist.
Right.
Iliad will not be will be here just for sake that he's here, but he's not joining the stealth.
Yeah.
As he will fuck it for everyone. All right, we're back.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty much 3 meters, more or less.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody put the measurement tool up.
Duke is actively going to be flying in, utilizing the stealth the stealth gen cloak.
There you go. Those are your
So-
3 meter lines.
Perfect. I'm assuming we had time to discuss it before we got there. So
Oh, of course.
does anyone want to discuss a battle plan really quick before we just go barging in?
Yeah, think of it like a war game.
Yeah, if-
So I'll
If
start.
need be- okay, go ahead.
Okay. I was gonna say, Rhea might try draw the attention to the right side so people will kind of turn around. You guys can come in with less people facing your way.
Mhm.
So maybe get some back shots going on there.
Yeah.
We're not supposed to employ too many explosives.
Actually, Duke's probably going to join them on this side.
Was that right?
Yeah.
These
No.
structures are fair game, just not the main.
Yeah, the outer
Water door.
defense.
Yeah, that shit.
Outer defense is fair game.
Okay.
Just not the antenna.
Antenna has to stay intact.
Yep.
All right.
And the door.
That door has to stay intact. Okay. All right. So, well, Crazen sticks with Rhea because that's it. That's his paycheck.
Probably should move more center.
Or center. Yeah, that's not a bad idea.
Now you're going to have an opportunity to use a stealth in order to get further into the advance. Get up to the wall. Move a couple movement runs up.
Right.
Duke's willing to do aerial reconnaissance if it helps.
Fair. How about other team over here with Cinder, Argo, Doc? WTF Red.
What's Team Bravo doing?
Yeah.
Doc, do you have any role you want to play? Says
Oh,
Cinder.
my primary goal will be to ensure that none of you die, and if need be, salvage whatever we can out of our enemies. However, I can assist in room clearing. And
Do you
if
have-
absolutely necessary, let's see, what else did I have? A pickle bag of. You said we'd had like a month, yeah?
Yeah,
A
you had
week.
a week from the last fight.
A week.
Yeah, since the last fight.
Can make a level 2 biotoxin beforehand for germ warfare.
Sure.
Sounds good.
Okay. Yeah.
And we have gas grenades. For those of you who breathe, don't breathe this.
Oh, I mean, I think everyone on this side. Oh, does everyone on this side have like lack of breathing, or at least an apparatus to filter?
I'm fairly
Yeah.
certain we have most of gas masks.
Cinder gives Rum his gas mask. I don't think she has one of her own.
I thought we salvaged some before, but I can't remember. I know we have a shit ton of headsets.
Right.
Like enough
Have we ever
headsets for
picked up
shows
gas
the whole
masks?
war.
Does the survival helmet act as a gas mask or not?
It does.
Oh, well then she doesn't need a gas mask.
But we can assume that Ray going back and forth between bitter, great toe, or great toe, gray water, bitter toe, but she probably picked up some for people who use them.
Oh yeah.
Bitter water, gray toe.
Mm-hmm. Ugh. Bitter toe water.
Oh,
Great bitter toe water.
hey man,
Oh.
shh! You can't be selling the secrets of freaking Super Squeeze, all right? God.
Doc, do you have stealth capability?
Yeah, Doc, can you stealth?
Doc does have some minor amount of stealth, and he's small enough, so it gives him a little benefit.
Sure. How about Argo and WTF? You guys have any stealth? Oh my god, Argo, you do have a point in stealth.
Stealthy.
And so does
Wow.
whiskey.
Wow.
Yes.
Well, you got
Yeah,
so much.
he can only have 1
Yeah,
point in
good.
stealth because of the legs. Well,
Right,
because of
that's
the
max.
tracks.
The tracks make it. Yep, I remember that now. All right, so,
Okay. So wait, is right side gonna be the loud side then, huh?
Yeah.
I presume so.
As needed.
All right, so Ilya will actually go over there because he doesn't have stealth, and if that's gonna be the stealth team to get in while we're distracted, Ilya will probably do better over here.
Probably.
Fair enough.
So Cinder is planning to be in the lead. He's got the optical concealment. So he's gonna, go point. He's gonna try to get through this. Wrong map to be clicking on. I'm on our live feed rather than the real map.
Hmm.
Where am I? Can't find myself. There we go.
Can anyone
Anyhow,
really
I
find
was saying that
themselves?
he was gonna try to go through this opening
Yes.
and start to pick off people using his killer ability. Oh, there's lots of people in there.
Yeah, I was like, I just realized, I'm like, oh, I didn't add all of them. Like, that's my bad.
Maybe not. I don't know.
I gotta add. Very, very strong psychic presence, not human.
Okay. Not human. very
Utterly,
strong.
utterly alien.
Okay.
So this is similar to when she's in the proximity of plantoids, where they're just not human.
Right.
Or bugs.
Or bugs. Yeah, it's just like their motivations are weird. Their emotions don't. They kind of like they're oily. She does recognize a psychic defense, though. Like whatever's
Okay.
in here is using an active psychic defense. She doesn't know, like she hasn't seen them or gotten close enough yet. But with enough time, like even though it's unfamiliar, like there's motivations, right? There's biological necessities. She'll figure it out,
Okay.
and it won't take her long either. Like all she has to see is like she has to witness cause and effect, and she'll be like, okay, that's that emotion.
Right.
and she'll have it. So she observes them a couple times. She'll be able to start figuring it.
So, point of reference for other characters. Remred's 9th rank psyker ability is going to be bravery inducement, as a
Nice.
variant on her emotional control. And so at some point, that unfortunately requires a war cry. So at some point, she's probably going to want to try to activate that, but we'll have to not be stealthing when that happens. And I can't remember what the range and such is. I'm looking that up.
I don't know if you saw it, Beans, but I was asking if the wall can it you decide what that projects itself as, or
Yeah, it says it can seal up to 3 man-sized beings. Considering that's 3 of us are half-sized. I'm
right,
pretty sure I could fit all of us behind that.
right? But could you make it look more natural rather than like
Oh yeah, you
a
can make it look like
floating
anything.
Okay, cool. So at least I could use that and not be so obvious.
Yeah, basically projecting like it looks like a half of a sand dune from their perspective. Or...
Yeah, just rolling sand. I imagine. Yeah,
Yeah, exactly.
All right, so the bravery
what time of
inducement.
day? Oh, I'm sorry, but what time of day is this actually?
That will, you guys can determine your strike time.
What would you guys say? Being as nerdy as this is, I would say this would be closer to nighttime in the dark.
Yeah, I was gonna say dusk for arrival, and the sooner it gets like dark enough, then, especially depending on which direction the sun is setting in.
Oh yeah. All right, LARP or GM, which side is the sun setting on?
All right, so we'll say that we'll use the actual map for orientation. So north will be the top of the map.
Okay, so setting over by Team Bravo,
Which one's Team Bravo again?
left side.
West.
Okay. Sun's setting over there.